Hello, everybody. It's me, Sugar Song, as always, and today I am back with Animal Crossing New Horizons with a new idea that I came up with. I made the executive decision to start over on my island. So, obviously, we're talking to Timmy and Tommy here, and we're going to see what we get for our first islands. So, obviously, let's get started. I wanted to make sure that we had a really good island map for this idea that I have going on in my head. Basically, we're going to keep the same map. We're just going to be changing the theme every single time, and I'll have a certain amount of time to change the theme. So, obviously, gotta go by Sugar Song and make my birthday October 7th, which obviously that's my birthday, as you probably know. Of course, gotta make myself, as I usually do for the beginning here. And of course, tell Timmy and Tommy that I wanted the Northern Hemisphere. It really doesn't matter when you get to time travel, which is one of the things I decided to keep in there. The first set of maps I was not too thrilled about. We had some weird uh, islands inside the island, and of course, resident services were way too close. And I didn't really want the two mouths of the island to be pointed down because it's just always so hard to start on those islands. And I didn't like how any of the peninsula looks either. And also, Red's Island was not in a good spot. So, of course, I had to do a full reset as per usual. And I wasn't going with the idea that I would only get once or twice. I would go until I found the map that I wanted to make this idea with. Because since we can't change the map, but we're just changing the island theme, that is why I decided that no matter what, I will restart until I get the map I really, really, really want. So, of course, putting our name in again with our birthday, getting us fixed up to how I always like to look and get our second set of maps going here. When I looked at these set of maps, I recognized the one I'm on right now, which is actually where we started off in Curse Cove. I knew that for a fact that that map was really good. I liked how Resident Services was, and I liked how the Peninsula was, and I liked how Red Island was on to the side there. So I decided to go with that map because not only does that showcase exactly what I want to showcase, because it's the same map setup that we just got done working with. Um, but it will be perfect. So this is just me coming off the island or coming onto the island. As you can see, this time around on Kursk, well, I shouldn't say that. This time around on this island, the airport is blue. On Curse Cove, of course, it was green. This time it's blue, and cherries is our island fruit, which I saw, and I wasn't too thrilled of our two first villagers, but of course, you know, with everything, they're going to definitely probably leave. So I don't really have an island theme picked out. The whole idea is to roll or to spin for that island theme. And basically, I will have 15 days to change the island to the theme that, well, the wheel picks. So for right now, all I'm doing is getting it all set up to get to terraforming. And of course, you know, we had to go and put our tents down and help our stupid villagers put their tents down. I mean, they're not really that bad, honestly. It could have got roaster villagers, but that one horse that's green is obviously weird. And I always forget that I had to talk to Timmy or Tommy for my stupid tent. I just assume that they give it to me every single time. I did that last time when I did my Curse Cove live streams, and I just was so tickled pink that we actually got the same island setup as Curse Cove. I was like so happy because it will showcase exactly what I wanted to showcase to all of you. As you can see, I'm showing you guys the map there, so that way you can get like the idea of it. If you go back into the very beginning of Curse Cove, you will see this map Obviously, before I terraform it, it's the exact same map, and more than likely, we'll be putting the museum into the same spot because it's such a great spot for the museum, and we might not move that one either. But obviously, the villager houses, my house, resident or sorry, Able Sisters in the Nook's Cranny will probably be moved. I'm not sure how many times I'll move that um, museum, but we'll see when we cross that bridge. So, obviously, let's go get our tent put where we want to be put. And I think I'm going to actually put it exactly where I did the first time on this island. Okay, so of course I'm putting it in the same spot that I did when I first walked onto Curse Cove. This time, putting it right here. Obviously, at this point, I don't have the name of our island, but if you are on our Discord, you already know the island's name. I kind of announced it and all that stuff, and obviously had to put our two villagers' houses close enough to each other so we can get everything done for KK, um, and all that great nonsense. So we get called back to the plaza. So, of course, Tom Nook wants to get stuff ready for the little campfire, so we go and do that really quick. Which, I grab the cherries as we are need to do that as well. So I'm just picking up the last couple pieces as I go back to Tommy Boy here and giving him the stuff that we need to give him. And of course, now we're in the naming process, getting to that point where I'm like trying to figure out what I'm going to name this thing. And I did ask on Discord a couple of options I was thinking of, and only one really person responded. But I did take everybody's consideration into effect. My friend Leon, of course, came up with a name, but it was a little bit too long. He wanted Roulette Resort, which is a little bit too long. It has to be a 10 characters long, as you all know. But I tried my hardest to try to do something that was related to that, and it just didn't feel like it fit too well for the idea. Well, it would have fit with the idea of the naming process of this island because it's going to be a wheel like a fortune on choosing the islands like actual like what it's gonna look like. So a few hours later, I finally came up with the name of Haven Cove. I really am on that cove kick lately, and I really like that name so much because we're going to make this place our haven basically every single time. Our haven is going to change over and over and over and over again, is kind of the process of what I got going on here. So, of course, Tom Nook makes you go in to the rigmaroles of actually becoming the person that helps everybody, puts everything down, and gets everything ready for the actual island, which I have a solution for. Okay, and I just went ahead and made it the next day. My plan was to come in and obviously use the airport because I had a very great idea that this time around I am going to be using my help basically. I have another island that's called Bubble Bay, and of course, there's a sugar song on that island as well. If you guys want a grand tour of that place eventually, let me know. I'll give you a grand tour of it. It's pretty great. It's like a Four Seasons type idea of a island, and I really do like it. It's very much me. I like all those seasons, but fall's my favorite, as you probably know from me doing Halloween. So you can see Sugar Song on Animal Crossing New Horizons just popped on. That is because I let myself come onto this island and grab so much stuff, especially money. So Sugar Song has a surplus on this island, which is Bubble Bay. Bubble Bay Sugar Song has a lot of money that she can just throw to the Sugar Song on Haven Cove. So, of course, I have an ABD up here that I'm going to be using to throw all my money into so I can continue to pick up the rest of the money. At the point that I end the video, I literally need more money to do anything. I actually completely outfit my whole entire um, house out with this money. I build one bridge with this money, and I get the villagers I need houses down with this money. So that's pretty much what I do um, with this particular money that I'm picking up right now. And you would think, yeah, that's exactly right. You need a lot of money. So as you can see, I'm just like hanging out on Bubble Bay, grabbing all this money that I left for myself. So it's not like, too bad. And of course, I put down some materials for me and some golden stuff. I said goodbye to myself for a little while. On this island, the airport's yellow, which is fine. And of course, like I wanted you guys to see the flyover of Haven Cove, so that's kind of why I left this little part in here, me flying over Haven Cove, so you can kind of see what it would look like if you came into the island. And of course, I had to run back to Bubble Bay once again to grab more materials, and I noticed that I had a lot of fossils in my inventory that weren't assessed yet by Sugar Song on in Bubble Bay. So I decided that I was gonna throw it at myself so I can use the rest of those fossils to give to Blathers for us to get our stuff done for his museum. So we'll have a lot of fossils to start off with and some bugs and fish that I captured with giving that to Tom Nook. Obviously, this is a flyover Bubble Bay. I don't know if you saw that before, but it shows a lot of the fall stuff right away. You don't see Sugar Song this time around because I did move her. Because where I have like one of my little setups is over by a different villager's house I have set up for Bubble Bay. So obviously, I go all the way over there because I know exactly where it's at. Which you get to see a little tidbit of the island. But if you guys want a full grand tour, just let me know. As you can see, I have lots of food out for myself to pick up this time, and tools, which is the ladder and folding pole. I'm not using that as much with Sugar Song anymore, and she obviously doesn't really need it. But I'm learning all the do-it-yourselves that I can that she had. I did decide that I was going to go to a treasure island and get the rest of the do-it-selves later when I had bigger inventory spots for that particular thing. So of course, I give myself all the vegetables and fruit and all that good stuff. I forgot to give myself sugarcane, but I give that particular thing later to me. Um, so I wanted to make sure I had enough materials and enough stuff to do the first few villager hunts, obviously. Um, so, of course, I went back and I'll be coming back one more time to pick up all the rest of that stuff that you saw on the ground. Okay, at this point in our little stream here that I'm doing, I am finally using my Nook Mile tickets to find my first three villagers. I don't have their plots down at this time, but I figured I can go and find them. I'm using my first ticket, of course, from Tom Nook that he always gives you to, keep buying them and show you what you can get from like mystery islands basically. So, of course, we go to our first mystery island. I'll spare you guys of all the loading screens. Now, these villagers I'm picking up right now do not count for the overall thing I have to do. That's going to be part of the rules later, which I will be posting the rules on the very first one that is a live stream, which will be later. I decided to pick up Flurry here because she's actually pretty cute. So I didn't want like any really ugly villagers, and I was glad I got her right off the bat. So I wasn't too unhappy with the very first ticket because she's not a bad villager to have. Of course, I had to get my hose. I was checking if there was a do-it-yourself on the beach because at this point I didn't go to the treasure island quite yet, and I figured I could try to get the majority of my uh, do-it-yourselves by myself. So that is how that went. So she came to our island. Okay, and of course, second island tour got our mystery thing off the tree right away. Checking if there's a do it yourself, obviously. There was nada, as per usual, it seems like these days. And our second villager was this interesting blue pig. I almost didn't take him, but then I was like, you know what? He looks really different. Why don't we grab him? He's not that bad. And besides, we're gonna probably be changing him out anyways, because I don't know what theme he would go with besides maybe Kids Core. But yeah, so he's coming to our island. He's really cute, actually. So I wasn't too unhappy about him either. All right, and of course, this is our third ticket, and we got a stinky, freaking, what are they called? Anteaters on this island, which I was not too happy about. I hate anteaters. I'll never have them on any of my islands. Unless you guys like want that as a challenge, I probably will be complaining about it the whole entire time. But anteaters, like certain bears, um, kangaroos for sure. I don't like how they look either. Monkeys, for the most part, there's a couple monkeys that pass, but very much anteaters and kangaroos I dislike with a fiery passion to the point where I will never have any of them on my island. I will boycott them so fast. But, you know, that's just how it goes. And of course, we're going to our fourth ticket here, which is, we only bypass like one villager, not too shabby as we go into our next one. I didn't cut that one out because I was talking. So this is our fourth island. And of course, I go around and try to look for our things first. Grab our little ladder here. This is what we're gonna need to do to go up there. And we got Sprinkles, which I was very happy about. I love Sprinkles. She's like the best penguin. One of the best. I still like Hop too. But Sprinkles does come to our island for the very beginning here. Okay, so at this point, I am actually putting all the stuff onto the plots here, getting all the materials ready to go for that. I luckily had just enough. As you can probably see, I probably need to go grab some more materials for myself, but I decided against that because I did want to go to one of those treasure islands, so I figured I could get some more there. I actually do go to one of those islands just to get to do it yourself. And I had about 2 hours to do that in, and literally it took me almost a full 2 hours just to do that. The only do it yourselves I don't have at this point is the food recipe ones. So I'm going to do the three plots, interior and exterior, really quick. I did a little jump cut there for me grabbing some more materials I needed to do, which was the cherries for some of the stuff that I needed to get done. But yeah, so I do end up going to a treasure island just for the do-it-yourselves. I didn't really get too much of like material wise. I did get some um, star fragments and some gold nuggets and some other like I think the castle items. I'm not entirely sure, but I do have the castle items and I do put them by the museum for now, kind of like I did on Curse Cove the first time. So, obviously, I'm just finishing up the three cabins here, as you probably can see. But it's basically the next day for me on this particular recording. I had to stop and actually record it on a different day. It actually took me 3 days RL time to get all this done. So it does put it in perspective on how long this actually does take. So obviously, it would take longer. Now I'm just showing you who we got as our campsite villager. I was super excited, obviously. And I gave myself some clothes from Sugar Song as well when I was there. So let's go in and see who we got. Of course, I already know who it is, but I'm not going to say it. And we got Graham, which I'm super excited about because I actually do like Graham. He's one of my favorite villagers, and I've had him before. The other two villagers I ended up getting was Cobb and this alligator that looks like a dragon. So I wasn't too upset on the two villager finds I had to do to just get KK onto our island, which we got so far. So at this point, KK is on his way. He will be coming the next day. I just wanted to show you that Resident Services was fully upgraded, but I'm starting to get ready for terraforming, which we will be doing live. And the plan is to spin for that island theme and continuously change the theme on this particular island's like setup. So when we actually go live, you'll see all the rules that we'll be having in place. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.